Welcome to the soccer lesson on the offside rule by SportsSpectator.com. In this lesson, we're going to review why the offside rule exists and distinguish between offside position, offside offense, and an offside sanction. The offside position is basically the state of being offsides. The offside offense is when the referee actually calls offside, and the offside sanction is the resulting penalty. The offside rule exists to prevent unfair breakaway goals. It prevents the opponent from just waiting in front of the goal, where he can receive an easy pass and score, because that is not fun for anyone. In all of these diagrams, the white team is going to the left, and the blue team, their offense is going to the right. It is not an offense in itself to be in an offside position, but it is a necessary condition to be called for offside, so it is important to review what offside position is. A player is in offside position if he doesn't have at least two players between himself and the goal line. In this case, this player here has two opponents between himself and the goal line. If the player moves up, he is now in offside position since he only has one player between himself and the goal line. A player is not in offside position anytime the ball is between himself and the goal line. So you can see this line kind of travels with the ball. This space is always fine to be in, and you will not be in offside position. In addition to watching the ball, you should watch the second to last defender to understand where the imaginary offside line is going. As you can see here, as it moves out, it follows that second to last player. As that player moves out farther, this man now becomes where the offside line is, and this player is now in offside position because he only has one player between himself and the goal line. A player is not in offside position if he is even with the second to last defender. Additionally, he can be even with both defenders, and he is not in offside position. A player is also not in an offside position when he is on his own half of the field. As you can see here, there's only one player between himself and the goal line, but he is not in offside position because he's on his own half. As we mentioned earlier, being in offside position, as you can see here, where there's only one player, this player is in offside position, that's not enough to be an offside offense. You'll see the ball is down here, and the player is not in active play. And active play is an important definition with the offside rule. This is how FIFA, the governing body of soccer, defines an offside offense. A player in an offside position is only penalized if, at the moment the ball touches or is played by one of his team, he is, in the opinion of the referee, involved in active play by interfering with play, interfering with an opponent, or gaining an advantage by being in that position. Now, there are a couple important elements of this rule. The first is the moment the ball touches or is played by one of his team. That means an offside offense will not be called when the opponent has the ball. It's only measured every time your own team touches the ball. The next important part is active play. It's defined as these three elements. And within those, interfering with play is the easiest to understand. It's basically touching or playing the ball. interfering with an opponent is a little bit more confusing. It can be actually physically impeding play, but it also includes juking, faking, cutting, head fakes, anything that could impact the opponent. And that's where there's a lot of discretion of the referee, and the rule is kind of unclear. Gaining an advantage by being in that position would include something like being in an offside position, a player takes a shot, it bounces off of the goal, and then comes to you. Well, you were in an advantageous position, and you should not gain an advantage by being in your offside position. So while you weren't in active play, by receiving that rebound, you actually gained an advantage by your position. There are also 3 exceptions to the rule when offside offense will not be called, and that includes directly receiving the ball on a goal kick, a throw-in, or a corner kick. An infringement or sanction is the penalty that the referee enforces when he calls an offside offense, and it results in the indirect free kick where the offense occurred. The referee will use some discretion when making the call. If the ball is already in control by the offended team, or the offended team has an advantage, he may decide not to call the penalty. Below is a quick review of the offside rule. You are not in offside position when you have the ball between you and the goal line, at least 2 opponents between or even with you and the goal line, or if you're on your own half of the field. Now, it's not an offside sanction when you are not in active play, when a teammate touches or plays the ball, when you directly receive a throw-in, corner kick, or goal kick, or when the referee uses his discretion because you have already gained possession of the ball or advantage. This concludes the soccer lesson on the offside rule. You can find more information about soccer and other sports at sportspectator.com.
Focusing on the Champions League tomorrow night with a special final preview at 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 1 and HD1, and then the final itself, Barcelona-Manchester United from 6 o'clock on Wednesday night, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. It's 33 years since Burnley were playing in the top division of English football. They are 45 minutes from a return. They lead here, Sheffield United, by 1-0. Our guests, Peter Beagrie, Billy Davis and Kevin Phillips, have got playoff and promotion experience aplenty. Peter, was this the first 45 minutes you expected?
It was very tight, it was very, very tense. I thought there'd be a little bit more quality. Arguably, Sheffield United settled it quicker, and then Burnley come up with a wonder goal against the run of play.
You said to me seconds before the goal went in, Billy, that Burnley's season has been based on world-class goals.
Well, if you look at the season, lots of very good free kicks, lots of very good shots, and as I said to you, Dave, and I hate to admit it, but once again, we're proved right, it is a wonderful goal.
And against the run of play, Kevin.
Yeah, exactly. Peter was right. I thought Sheffield United started the game pretty well. They were the team on the front foot, but as Burnley have shown all season, they're dangerous on the counter-attack, and Elliott here has had a fantastic run. He's had a bit of luck here, good challenge from Kilgallen, and what a finish now. He's actually give the keeper the eyes there. When you see it from this angle, the keeper thinks the way he's shaped up, he's going to bend it in the far right-hand corner, but he's struck it so well. I think when Kilgallen's made the tackle, he thought, we've done enough here, and you can just see what a fantastic finish.
The Sheffield United defenders close enough, Peter, or don't they have the time to get to
Well,
it?
the thing is, because of McCann's willingness to support Elliott, who looks to be on his own and go nowhere there, a youthful lad, unfortunately, he's had to go off. Montgomery's trying to look at him, and he doesn't come along the line of the ball and doesn't get close enough. But to be fair, that is a sensational finish.
And they have been doing it all season, as Billy says.
Yes, they have, and they've got ball carriers, they've got people who would turn up, we thought today, and would get on the ball and make things happen, and Wade Elliott got the rewards for doing that.
Wade Elliott right at the heart of things for everything good about Burnley's play so far. Here he was again, and this time it's Martin Patterson almost with the exact goal that he scored against Reading, Billy, in the semi-finals.
Well, this is his counter-attack that Kev was talking about earlier on, but they win possession. He get out to the left-hand side and he's trying to bend into the far corner with his left foot. And it's a fantastic effort and very unfortunate.
Just wanted a little bit more bend on it, didn't it?
It shows, when you're confident, as Mike, when he scores a goal like that in the semi-final, a player that's not confident won't take that chance on, especially with the old swing of the left foot. But, it just shows...
this might have dropped in as well.
Definitely. These are the ones that sometimes drop in, and Kilgallen there, I think, he's taken a gamble there, and fortunately for him, it's paid off, but you could easily see them drop in the bottom corner.
I think we've seen as well, we mentioned about Patterson dropping into that right-hand channel. He did that early doors, and what that allows Wade Elliott to do is get picked up, because, not get picked up, because when he's running from deeper, he's not marked, and he's been a constant thorn in the Sheffield United side.
They are feeling slightly hard done by, though, Sheffield United at half-time. If you were the Sheffield United manager, Billy, would you have expected a penalty here?
Well, I'd have to say to you, yes, as a Sheffield United manager, yes. As a Burnley manager, definitely not, because it's one of these ones that could have gone either way.
Well, has he got it right? Is it a penalty?
If that was me, I'd be disappointed. Cause
if you're the attacker going through there.
Exactly, yeah. I can see the frustration in Howard's face there, because, I would feel that was a penalty. But I suppose the only way that it wasn't a penalty is that Alexander's not seen the player come from behind. So we've seen him given and we've seen him, haven't we? So fortunate for Burnley, unfortunately for Sheffield United.
Very unfortunate so far for Sheffield United, who have it all to do in this second half to save their season. Can Kevin Blackwell channel some of that anger towards his team at half-time? Second half comes next.
Welcome to ESPN Extra Time at the ESPN Arena in the company of Craig Burley and Kevin Keegan. We have more reaction to a final score of Chelsea 3, Everton 1. So, what's your verdict on the performance of the two teams, Kevin?
I thought Chelsea, without ever getting out of first gear, did some good things. Everton, they just conceded the goals at the wrong time, and you couldn't say they played poorly, but in the end it looks like a good beating they got here today at 3-0.
Yeah, what's your verdict?
They were in it for long periods, weren't they, Everton? And piece of magic from Juan Mata in terms of the ball through for Ashley Cole, and Sturridge got on the end of it. And then to lose a goal just before half-time from the free kick made it an uphill struggle for them. And Chelsea weren't great, and Everton made it difficult for them, but ultimately a bit of quality shone through.
Yeah, Juan Mata was the star turn.
He stood out like a beacon in the game, I thought. He's just the way he moves the ball, the way he keeps running. Great example to young players. Every time he got a pass, he moved, gave it, and moved again. He never stood still. And of course, he never got a goal today, but he certainly had a hand in two of them.
When you look at, you've got Mata and you've got Sturridge, Ramirez was good. What sort of areas did Sturridge work in today that sort of really helped his team along?
Well, Sturridge, actually today, he was quite disciplined. He started off on this side and he pretty much stayed there, but he loves to go in on his left foot. A couple of times he could have had a shot and he didn't, but he got his goal again. What is that? 8 goals in 9 games. I mean, that's an incredible stat. And, it's England next for him, there's no doubt about it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think there's still lots of things for Andre Villas-Boas to work on. I mean, for instance, Basinga, who's been fantastic at the start of the season, he made numerous runs up here during the game. And I think Chris Waddle was mentioning it on commentary, and we were talking about it, and Kevin was talking about it, his final ball, for the amount of time he's in there, is never quite I think is how his manager would want. So I think that side of it can improve. But in terms of Basingo getting forward, he's absolutely brilliant at it. He just needs to improve when he gets up there.
How influential do you see Ramirez in this team?
I think he was fantastic again today. He's got great energy. He's not your typical Brazilian player, but he's box to box, isn't he? You know, he works back in here. He was helping Mikel out in there, but he got forward. And if you track his run for the goal, I mean, it was incredible. You know, he just kept running. He knew when Drogba had it, he wouldn't give it to him, but he thought he might get in on the second phase of the play, and he did, and he got his goal.
89 metres. It was a great run, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
OK, we can hear from Andre Villas-Boas now with Rebecca Lowe.
Thank you very much indeed. Andre, how happy are you with the result and with the performance today?
Yeah, it was a good performance, and finally we put a breakthrough on Everton's outstanding results at Stamford Bridge, which was important for us. Again, as we spoke before, coming out from an international week is always difficult because there are all kinds of tiredness. But we were able to get in control of the game and managed to get a good scoreline at half time, and eventually found the 3-0 that gave us complete stability. So very, very happy with the players' performance and the team performance, and hopefully we can continue to build from what we're doing.
Did you feel that you played with as high a tempo as you wanted to throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not only that. I think what we managed to do today is exactly the opposite, is slow the tempo down because we had a tremendous amount of possession, and we made Everton run tremendously to try to find the ball. But we know with our ball circulation, Everton got eventually tired, and when they had the ball, they couldn't respond as they usually respond with power and with pace. So we took this risk of slowing the game down and being very, very patient in our build-up, and eventually it paid off.
Daniel Sturridge with another goal today, and he's looking good in that position on the right.
No, yeah, and it's important for him to continue to score because what the team has always told him was that he would find the same amount of goal-scoring opportunities as playing as a striker position, and he's been able to get into the balls in the back of the net, which is important for him.
Juan Mata got a standing ovation and man of the match. Try to sum up for me how important he is to the way you want to play.
No, I think all of them are important, and what we can praise is the way the team is adapting to a new style of play. I think it's all a collective commitment, and of course everybody has individual talent to adapt to the squad, and we just have to make sure that the players can exploit their talent. I mean, it's all down to them, and it's them that solves the puzzle of winning every game.
And just finally, Ramirez injury, is it serious, do you think?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, yes, to have a scan tomorrow, but the first impressions, there is nothing special.
Great, thank you.
Okay, see you.
Juan Mata cost £23.5 million. Everton didn't spend a penny in the summer transfer window. Their fans are really frustrated. They're angry with their team's performance today. They're angry about the substitutions. Do you have any concerns for Everton?
I do if they get a couple of injuries. I mean, the team he put out today was a very good team. But if he gets one or two injuries, unlike his opposite number there, the Chelsea manager Boas, if he gets a couple of injuries, he hasn't really got the quality to come through. In his 9.5 years there, his overall spend is 21 million. Juan Mata cost 23.8 million. So it tells you everything.
And the financial facts of life.
Well, I think if you're an Everton supporter, it's be careful what you wish for, because if David Moyes does go, and probably will at some point, and somebody else comes in that's not up to speed and not quite adequate enough, and he's got this group of players, and then he loses Saha, he loses one or two others, he loses Jagielka, he might lose Leighton Baines. Everton will be in a worse predicament than they are at the moment. Is
there anything in particular about what they were doing today that either played into Chelsea's hands or just something that they didn't do? Did they break any cardinal rules today?
They don't have any invention there. They got rid of Pienaar in the last transfer window at Christmas. They got rid of Arteta this time. Those two players have been for the last 2 or 3 years their most inventive players. Now, who's going to make something out of nothing in this team? And I don't see anybody there today who could open a door for somebody. Actually, plenty of effort, good organisation, but who's going to, open the door and make that little pass like Mata did today for the goal? I don't see it.
I still think we're waiting to see, and Kevin touched on it earlier about Jack Rodwell. A lot of talk about Rodwell. Didn't really see him getting up here. Didn't get on the ball in midfield, and for one that's been talked about in such high esteem, he didn't get up there. I mean, Everton fans are talking about, leaving players out. Zaha has got a great record against Chelsea. You're not going to leave Cahill out the side because he's a big game player. Where else do you make changes? You might bring Phil Neville in midfield, but I don't see really what Everton fans want and did want David Moyes to change. There's not much.
He's very, very limited, isn't he?
Now, Andre Villas-Boas, are you seeing the urgency, the flair and the pace in the Chelsea team now that maybe was missing in the past? Are they starting to move forward? Do you see them as a force in the title?
I see him as a force, but I don't see that pace. I mean, today, if one criticism was they played at a very slow pace, but when you hear the interview from the manager there, he said that's what we decided to do. Take the legs out of Everton, tire them out, and he said, eventually our patience was rewarded and we got a goal. So he set them up that way. But I don't see them playing at that pace and causing the Man United's problems and the Liverpool's.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Our time is up. Hope you'll join us next time at the ESPN Arena. See you soon. Bye for now.
Hi, my name is Phil Goodlake from Elite Soccer Academy, and we specialise in developing young players in the grassroots game. Today, we're going to demonstrate practical techniques to help players progress their skills and give grassroots coaches some workable ideas.
The driven pass, used to get the ball to your teammate as quickly and accurately as possible. Unlike the lofted pass, which is used to lift the ball over your opponent, this technique allows you to drive the ball to your teammate quickly and accurately. So it is important to strike the middle of the ball, which will keep the flight of the ball below head height. To practice, first use a stationary ball, then try with it moving. Remember, hit the middle of the ball and keep it below head height for speed and accuracy. Look out for more videos from Elite Soccer Academy. We're developing the grassroots game.